Burts Biscuits and Cakes Limited, which is a sister company of Ogmore Vale Bakery Limited, which is now in its third generation of ownership. Family company, established from the Gwalior stores in the Welsh valleys back in the late 1800s. Subsequently, my grandfather, Reginald Burt, bought the business in 1945. We established it on the high street as a very strong brand within the community, grew our offering to 14 retail outlets. We also had a large wholesale business alongside that as well. Today we have now been trading for 77 years. We obviously saw the market changing considerably, certainly through the crunch times of 2008 and subsequently since, and saw the opportunity of export purely by chance. An email came through one day from the UK Food and Drink Exporters Association, which prompted me to sort of have a look at the export market following failed discussions with a large UK retailer. So we had to look for alternative markets to take our product. In terms of our product range, given the type of product that we have, which is cake and biscuit product, fully exportable, with good life, meant that we could actually put it on a ship and send it to various parts of the world. Our journey into export started probably by chance more than actual strategy at the outset. We entered from working with the UK Food and Drink Exporters Association, who are an organisation specifically set up by to work with food exporters or food producers to export product worldwide. We were introduced to buyers, consolidators, agents, and from that we were successfully won 3 parts of business, or 50% of those people that we met we secured business with, primarily, and the first market was within the United States. The Welsh Assembly Government have played a significant part in what we're doing as part of our export development, namely taking advantage of exhibitions that are specifically put on for food producers, food and drink producers, should I say, which has now allowed us to take our product and present it to various markets throughout the world, from Singapore, covering the whole of the Asia region, to China, USA, and we are currently working on projects to look to take us to further exhibitions in the Middle East. We're also taking advantage of Welsh Assembly support through overseas business development grants, which have also allowed us to present our products and services in or at one of the largest bakery exhibitions in Europe, called ISM, which has provided us with, again, significant opportunity in areas which we would not necessarily have gone previously, such as Japan, South Africa, but Welsh Assembly support has been quite phenomenal. Our initial thoughts of export, or the countries that we were actually looking at, probably based on my past experience of living abroad, primarily in the United States, where I fortunately worked for 3.5 years. Learned a little bit about the appetite of American citizens, how they very much like to indulge in quintessential British tea time treats, namely cake and tea, and again saw the opportunities that presented themselves there, predominantly from the knowledge that the bakeries within the US were very much from a ethnic background and not a true American background. So a lot of variety, and a lot of opportunity to present British product there as well, and specifically our Welsh product of biscuit and cake. We hadn't undertaken any development of an export plan initially. It was purely by chance that we stepped into the export sector, and since that period of time, where we have successfully taken our products to the US in particular, we have now developed an export plan to take us forward to new markets, and in particular Asia and beyond. Our initial entry into the United States market was directly with the retailer. The opportunity that presented itself was a large US retailer that solely imported goods from around the world, be it food, beverage, furniture, clothing, whatever. They had all the knowledge of importing, logistics, etc. Our opportunity was that we had a product which would fitted their requirement. We could actually then allow them to undertake all the logistical movements of picking the product up, shipping it, etc. And not being worried about that. Our other routes to market, or other methods of getting into market, have been through consolidators within the UK, which are acting on behalf of retailers and others within the Asian region, which has allowed us to test products within those markets as well. And just as an example, e-numbers, which are probably quite reflective on food labelling within European markets, are not allowed within the US. There are various additives for food, colourings, etc., which have to have various certifications for US entry. Without it, your product cannot enter those particular areas, regardless of whether you've sold it or not, into the retailer. So the biggest challenge, or I wouldn't say obstacle, challenge better is probably a better word, is actually getting the product fit for that market, and in terms of ensuring the ingredients, the additives, all are subsequently approved, and most importantly that your labelling of the product is approved prior to entry. The resultant factor, if that isn't done, it remains in customs and you have the liability of picking that product up and getting rid of it. Pricing has basically been built around our UK market, where we have looked at how we export our goods. A lot of what we do is ex-factory, so we take all the logistical costs out of the product itself, leaving the importer or distributor or retailer to give them the margin that they need to build into their marketplaces. It frees up our requirement as well for the logistical element of it. There are requirements where certain distributors do require you to offer different pricing, such as freight on board or CIF, carriage insured freight, in which case then you have to start building in all your logistical costs into that. However, the one poignant thing to remember is that obviously you then have to make sure is that it's not going to affect the end price point in the market that it's going to, and making sure that the product will work. Obviously, from doing market visits and understanding the markets and looking at either the competitors that are within the marketplace or just other products similar to your own, just to see how you can fit your pricing point around that. Export has offered our company a future lifeline. Given the current austerity measures within Europe and just within the UK sector, where everybody is under squeeze, export has provided us with an opportunity to look at new markets and prove to us that the world is a very small place and that we can get our products that will travel and get them to where they need to be. Our efforts in terms of the export have required us to be rather innovative in terms of how we package product, in particular how we display and how we actually present ourselves to the end user or consumer. That has helped us both here as within the UK market, but also it's obviously opened up the opportunities within the export sector as well. From a human resource perspective, we have maintained our skill base as it is. One of the things that we are selling is artisan products, and as part of our strategy, that is what we will continue to do. So what we are actually doing is making more effective use of our resource by applying additional volume into the business. Overall, as a business, since our standing start in 2011, export is now contributing 7% towards our total revenues within the business. which from a small family entity I am exceptionally proud of. Our challenge now is to try and grow that further by taking that in the next 12 to 18 months to a minimum of 12% of our overall turnover, and continually trying to grow that. There is a preconception about sort of maybe going to China, certainly mainland China, not so much Hong Kong, that it is still an up and coming environment or society. Very much far from it. I probably had my eyes wide open when I entered and saw the development of China. There's an expectation that you think that it's possibly easier to develop. I would probably say that their capability and their offering is probably somewhat more advanced than what we have here in the UK, and growing. So the opportunity is to jump on that and take advantage of it, and I think that's where export is certainly going to help us take forward. Looking back at our strategy of a business and looking at how we have developed over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, export is certainly something that we have missed the opportunity of, or we should have jumped on the opportunity, should I say, more sooner than what we did. If I had the opportunity of having a Doctor Who TARDIS, I would probably get in it and go back and probably make it a very key part of what our growth in terms of a business. However, in saying that as well, we have also had to take consideration of how we have invested in the business through capital investment, and obviously making sure that our investment is in line with what we're doing strategically as a business. Where we are at the present time, again with the help of the Welsh Assembly Government through grant and support, it's enabled us to buy new plant and equipment, which is enabling us to enter volume markets, and export is certainly one of those. Advice to exporters or companies that are certainly looking forward to taking export as part of their strategy is certainly do not be afraid of it. It is a fantastic opportunity that you can take on board. It can give you some quick wins, as it has provided with us with our own business, but it's also given us the belief that obviously that our products can travel, which we know that they can. It's given us the assurance that our products can sell within different markets, and I think my key advice is to take full opportunity of the support that's out there. In particular, that's being offered by Welsh Assembly Government in particular, with trade missions, exhibitions, overseas business development grants. Without that support, we certainly as a business probably wouldn't be in export as we are today.